Welcome back to the Journey to CEO podcast, everyone. I know it's been a minute. I know you guys haven't heard my voice in a minute. And it's been, quite frankly, a year of awakening, a year of just transformation and transition in my life. And I'm looking forward to opening and sharing my story with you all. A few stories, actually, but I'm really excited for the special treat that you guys are in for this season. This is season 2 of the Journey to CEO podcast. And I cannot tell you all how excited I am for what you guys are getting ready to embark on. The journey that we are going to walk on together. I have already interviewed a few of my friends, a few mentors of mine, and I recognize that I have not always been forthcoming with sharing the people in my journey who have been significant in helping me to get to the next level. Nobody goes alone. And I think that's something that is the theme of this journey, is that we don't get to the spaces of wholeness. We don't get there alone, that we need community, that we need some solid, amazing, wise individuals in our lives, and we need wise counsel. And so I'm looking forward to sharing some of my wise counsel with you all. These are some dynamic forces. We've got some people from all different walks of life, all different industries, and they're going to share their ups, their downs, and the mediocre parts, right, of the journey that we don't like to talk about. We can talk about the highlight reel. Many of you all know that in 2022, I sold my business, Apps Admins, my cloud solutions company. I sold that and became a first generation investor. And beyond that, I needed to figure out what I wanted to do in the next season of my life. And so I threw my hat into being an executive life and business development coach and began doing podcasts. And my first major client for my consulting and coaching agency was a Fortune 100 company. I had a Fortune 100 client for executive coaching and a Fortune 100 company to do some strategic consulting. And though I was loving the work, I realized that I jumped from one thing to the next without really doing that development work, because I didn't think that there was development work that needed to be done. I stay in development. So I'm like, Lord, surely I can just jump over here and do this. And though I got a preview and a taste of what life was like in the coaching world and in the strategic and consulting world and getting certified for contracts and elevating, right? Elevating. There was one piece that was missing, that I had to become the change that I was seeking. But there was this one little thing that I felt was missing, and it was rest. It was rest. I have built, you guys know my story of being a love child and finding that out at 12 years old and turning and twisting that one moment of shame into a lifestyle and a mindset of shame and carrying on a cloak of unworthiness consistently and believing that I'm not enough and inadequacy and insecurity. And so those things, even when you come into the revelation and you come into the awareness of things like that, it doesn't necessarily just go away overnight. And even through talk therapy and EMDR, though our headspace may open, there's still this space between our head and our heart that has to crack wide open in order for us to truly receive all that God wants to do in our lives. And so many of you know that story, right? Those are stories of development. Those are stories of the things that have happened in the dark. And there's many, I have a plethora of a toolbox to pull from. But if you looked at my highlight reel, if you looked at me selling a business in 2022, if you looked at me being a first-time investor, if you looked at the many of 4 or 5 business awards I've gotten for growth and strategy and being an award-winning entrepreneur, you would not guess the things that I would struggle with at night. You wouldn't guess when you see me doing media interviews or traveling or speaking or doing whatever. You wouldn't guess that those have been spent with nights in the dark of high functioning depression, and early on in 2015, high functioning depression, anxiety, suicidal ideations. You would not believe that if all you saw was my highlight reel. And so, Journey to CEO, I want to go into that deep moment, those deep moments of reflection, those defining moments, those developmental moments. And I don't think we talk about development enough. Back in the day, and I may be aging myself, but I'm really not that old. I'm a millennial. Shout out to the millennials. Back in the day, when we took photos, we had to actually take film into the Photoshop and actually get it developed. And in that development, they were developed in the dark. And so when you think about development, when you're seeing somebody, you see what they do every single moment that they wake up. You see what they make for breakfast, the snacks that they had, the lunch that they had. And look, no shame, because I am definitely one of those girls that likes to share my snacks, okay? I like to share when I cook because I love cooking and I take pride in it. However, this is a consistent way of life. There are generations that don't know anything else but sharing every waking moment of your life, but the good stuff, right? The good stuff. Then you have people who like to show you their devotionals and like to show you what they read and like to show you that every single day they sit down with a devotional for 30 minutes and then they cry in the closet and they're letting you into the secret place. But then you have moments that are actually secret. And we don't see the development that's happening in the dark. We don't see the times where things aren't picking up for you. Clients aren't calling you. Contracts are falling through. You are doing all the things and doing all the work. But there's this moment called patience that a trial is trying to work through you that you can't even understand or conceptualize in your mind, that it's not the fact that God is mad at me. It's not the fact that I'm doing a bunch of things wrong. Perhaps it's just timing. Perhaps I'm being developed. Perhaps, get this, I'm not ready for it. Perhaps it's not even that I'm not ready. Perhaps it's not ready. The timing, the orchestration of the thing is just not ready. And so because we compare ourselves amongst ourselves, we're looking at everybody else's highlight reel, believing that our journey is supposed to mirror that. And if we're not careful, we will begin to be copycats and start mirroring other people's journeys. Every one of us has our own journey. We all have to be developed in the dark. I don't care what anyone tells you. If they're not being developed in the dark, I'm going to question the validity of their messaging. I'm going to question the validity of their brand. I don't care how many followers you have, dog. Are you being developed in the dark? Are you in a real secret place? Scratch on that. I'm crying in front of a ring light and a camera, crying out to God, asking him to help me. Are you in the secret place, being developed in the dark, praying in your closet, the meditations of your heart, going to God when nobody is looking? Are you going through the cycles of forgiveness? Are you going through the cycles of releasing painful information in your mind? Are you being developed? Are you embracing the fact that you're not perfect? We have to know our ways. You have to be aware of how you show up in the world. And though that comes through relationship, it does not have to be developed out in the open all day, all the time. So yes, we love a good highlight reel. We love a good baddie. We love a good boss. We love when we take care of our business. We love accomplishments and achievements. We love those tangible things that people can see as a manifestation of blessing. But we also love a healed heart. We also love a regulated nervous system. We also love a healed prefrontal cortex and a healed vagus nerve and a stabilized amygdala. We love those things around here. We love treating people with love and kindness and fairness. But we love treating ourselves that way as well. We love boundaries over here. We want to hear about the journey. We want the vulnerability. We want your empathy, but I also want to know about the times that you were apathetic too. I want to know about the times where you were indifferent. I want to know about the times where you could care less. See, we trick ourselves by telling ourselves that we have empathy because we show up for everybody, or we're always saying yes, or we're showing up for the thing. And we do these things sometimes, not all of us, and some of us, we do these things out of the understanding that we're going to receive or there's going to be a reciprocal action. So it's always transactional. And if your empathy is always transactional, then it's not empathy at all. It's actually manipulation. And so if we recognize that sometimes it's good to let it all go, sometimes it's good to be so tired that you can't lift a finger, that you can't say yes to that invite or the invitation to participate and serve in a capacity that you do not have. Because when we embrace that level of indifference, we meet ourselves. We're able to meet ourselves face to face. We're able to see the dark parts in us that really doesn't care about everything. That there is something more meaningful to life for us, that there is something more purposeful to life than us wanting to be the carriers and the doormats of generations. There's more to us than that. Certainly, there's more to us than always caring about everybody else's problems. And so the journey to CEO is genuinely about taking agency and relieving ourselves from all forms of codependency. I know we want things to happen fast. I know we want this microwave popcorn form of success where things will just happen overnight so quickly. But great things are developed in the dark. Great things are developed in the dark. It's where you get to feel your way through and find the light of Christ within yourself. If I know anything, I know that God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit lives on the inside of me. That the light and the love and the beauty and the justice and the abundance of Christ, it lives on the inside of me, and it lives on the inside of you too. And so if I can stop reaching for external validation, if I can stop reaching for something outside of myself to see me, if I can stop reaching to be seen, reaching to be liked, reaching to be accepted, externally reaching for validation, then perhaps I can start reaching within and I can pull that love out. I can pull that acceptance out. I can pull that light out. And my light is no longer a transactional plug-in where I get a quick flashlight. If I do this, then the light will shine. If I do this, then I'll feel joy. If I buy this, then I'll feel good about myself. If I can just get my hands on this, then maybe I'll be happy. No. But we turn that inside reaching and we dig up the love and we dig up the acceptance and we dig up the blessing. We dig up the validation. We dig up seeing ourselves. We dig up wholeness. We dig up joy, and the light that is buried deep within us begins to shine, and everything we do now becomes an act of love with no expectation or tied to you giving me anything in return, because I'm doing this out of the fullness of my own overflow. I am doing this out of the fullness of the love and the light that I have on the inside of me. I'm not doing it to gain. I'm not earning love, because we are past those days. I no longer have to earn love, for I know who I am. I know that I am a child of the Most High God. I know I am taken care of. I know that I am well cared for, protected, heavily favored. And so I don't have to do anything, get anything that is called to me, anything that is in my orbit. When I was created, when God said, let there be Lindsay, and I was created, I know that it's there. So I don't have to earn that. I just got to reach for it. Yeah, there's a development, but that development is working out a far more exceeding weight of eternal glory on the inside of me. Yeah, I don't need your validation. I don't need that. You can keep that, because I see me. I know who I am. I know I'm loved. And so if God is loved, then I'm loved and I can walk in love. And everything that I do is out of that love. And because I do the work, because I'm working on my inner man, my inner woman, I'm working on the things that, oh, why did that trigger me? Why does that feel that way? Oh, what is this feeling? What am I feeling? I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention in awareness to my emotions and how my body feels. Oh, I got a pain back there. What's going on? Let me rest. Let me take a moment. Because I'm doing that work and I will continue to do that work, then I'm no longer a fragmented individual that compartmentalizes my being in different spaces and thinks that nothing is connected. But I become a more integrated individual who can love and lead with love and kindness. And I get to benefit from that light. I get to benefit from that value. I get to benefit from me being a person who wants to create an abundant life, a person who wants to embody wholeness, a person who wants to own her God-given identity unapologetically. I get to own my story. I get to reclaim my power. I get to take my mind back. I get to open up my heart and let God just pour all this love. Surround me with people who are loving and kind and not just like-minded, but like-hearted. And we have like spirits. There is a kinetic force, right? A chemistry that bounds us together. Love. And so you don't get to that point of authenticity in your journey by allowing for every waking moment to be a piece of content. I needed rest. I needed healing. I needed to spend that time recognizing that it has been a privilege raising my son for 5 years at home with me as I built the business, as I poured into my family. I got the privilege and the opportunity to truly be a stay-at-home mom. And in doing that, which is the hardest job on earth, I am convinced, and I don't think anyone can convince me otherwise, that work was an escape for me at times, right? But understanding that it has been a privilege to rest in the opportunity to cultivate, to learn, to help grow this individual as we send Sonny out into the world as he is a new kindergartner. I have the privilege of having the opportunity to just be his mom. And so I rested in that, right? I took a break and rested in that. Now, some of you all like, that doesn't mean you just stop. No, you don't stop doing everything. I needed a better strategy to podcast. And to be truthfully honest, I didn't have one. There were areas in my healing journey in which we will be discussing this season. There were areas in my healing journey where I needed to focus on what consistency looked like for me. And many of you may not know this, but consistency is not just a head switch, it's a heart thing. And so I had to go through some releasing to recognize where my inconsistencies actually were and what was holding me back. So yes, I could have had a better strategy so that I can continue to have this platform for Journey to CEO, but timing, I did it. And I'm being all the way 100% with you guys because this is my journey to CEO, as it also is yours. And we're walking this out together. And so before I jumped in one thing and jumped into another, there's some development that had to happen. And though I couldn't understand it at the time, I recognized that it was necessary. And I think it's necessary for all of us to have those introspective moments, to have those walks with God, to recognize his presence and the awareness of God living on the inside of us, and to walk that journey to co-create what the next phase of our life is going to look like. And I didn't want to do anything out of performance. None of this was going to be performative. Before I came on this platform, I really wanted to get clear, articulating to myself and to you all, my listeners, right? What Journey to CEO is really about. And it's really simple. It's about taking agency of our lives. It is about being exactly who God has called us to be. It is about creating a life of abundance that we love. It is about embodying wholeness and embracing this healing journey and being honest It's about owning who you are, owning your value, owning your story, owning your work, sitting in that thing. That is what it's about. Throughout this season, we're going to talk about worth. We're going to talk about value. We're going to talk about divine guidance and hearing from God. We're going to talk about dreaming a new dream. We're going to talk to people who are walking this journey to CEO out. We're going to talk about their developmental moments in the dark. We're also going to talk about their highlights and achievements. We're going to talk about what's going on in culture and how we're navigating this life, owning all of who we are in a world that feels so noisy and so chaotic. How are you navigating that? That is what we're going to talk about. But I recognize that that's what we're going to talk about because I spent time resting and because I spent time being developed in the dark. And so welcome back to season 2 of the Journey to CEO podcast. It is my honor to hold space with you all. It is my honor to be here and to share my story with you all. And I hope to also hear some of your stories. I hope to hear some of your challenges and your developmental moments. And so please don't hesitate to follow me on platforms like Instagram. I'm Lindsay Raé Perry everywhere. DM me your questions. DM me your stories. DM me if it's resonating with you. I want to hear from you. Because this is our space. It's a sacred space where we can truly just be and learn how to be well on the way. And when I say on the way, I mean on the journey, on your journey to fulfillment, on your journey to authenticity and empowerment and abundance, your journey to CEO. We're learning how to be well on the way. And so thank you for tuning in. I'm excited for this season. I know I keep saying the word excited, but I really am. I'm amped up. I hope you are too. Please let me know what you guys want to hear from in the seasons to come. I would love to hear from you. Please follow me at Lindsay Raé Perry everywhere. Tell me if this episode resonates with you. And remember, great things are developed in the dark. Don't ever discount the moment in the secret place or when you're on your face crying or when you can't lift a finger. Don't ever discredit your moments where you do feel dark because that is where you find the light of Christ within you. So I pray that everybody can reach in. You release the need for external validation today and you can reach in and see yourself because I see you and I hope you see you too. You are loved. You are worthy. You are enough and you have value. So go out there and be all that God has called you to be. Till next time. Bye.